I want to start off by saying that I don't drink, smoke, or do anything that could mess with my senses. So, I know what I saw on New Year's Eve happened. This wasn't some delusion or hazy memory. It was real, every single part of it. I live just outside a small rural town in Arkansas. The kind of place with one main road, no public transit, and endless pine forests in every direction. A couple of my close friends live even deeper into the countryside, out in scattered neighborhoods where streetlights don't exist and the roads are practically goat trails. My friend Caleb lives with his parents in a gated subdivision way out there. Every New Year's Eve, they host a massive party. Lots of food, music, fireworks, and a solid turnout. I've been going for the last few years, and it's always something I look forward to. So, when the invitation showed up in my mailbox, I marked my calendar. The week leading up to the party had been oddly warm for late December, but the temperature dropped sharply the day before New Year's. That night, I was driving down one of those country back roads, the ones so narrow you're forced to slow down for every bend. With thick woods on both sides and no lights in sight, I had to use my high beams just to see past the hood of my car. I'm usually that guy who turns off his brights when another car's coming because I hate being blinded. But out there, you either drive with full lights or risk running into a deer or worse. There's one stretch of the road I always find unsettling. It passes a rundown little cabin sitting just off the tree line. No driveway, no mailbox, nothing. It looks completely abandoned, except for the fact that I've occasionally seen a faint light in one of the windows when I've driven by at night. No one I know has ever mentioned it, and I've never seen anyone around. Anyway, I was maybe 10 minutes from Caleb's house when my headlights caught someone, on the right side of the road. A figure standing still against the trees, glowing pale white in the light. At first, I thought it was a deer or a reflector, but as I got closer, I saw it was a woman. She was just standing there, facing the road, dressed in what looked like a long white nightgown or hospital gown. Not moving, not signaling, just staring straight ahead. I slowed down a bit as I passed her, but didn't stop. Something about her presence felt off, like she was planted there on purpose. I glanced in my rearview mirror and saw that she had turned, now facing my car, as I continued down the road. She didn't move or follow, just turned like a statue being rotated on a base. I tried to shake it off as a weird rural encounter. Maybe someone from a nearby house had gotten lost or wandered off. Still, something about her gave me goosebumps. I made it to the party around 8 p.m. The driveway was packed, and Caleb's place was lit up like a festival. The rest of the night was pretty normal. We counted down to midnight, first watching the ball drop in Times Square on the TV, then doing our own countdown when midnight hit our time zone. Fireworks went off in the backyard, and people slowly started saying their goodbyes and heading home. I stayed behind a little while to help clean up since Caleb's family had always been kind to me. By the time I was ready to leave, mine was the only car left parked out front. As I got in, I noticed a low tire pressure warning on my dash. My car's old, so it doesn't tell me which tire is the problem, just that one or more are low. I figured it was from the cold snap. My tires always do that when the weather shifts suddenly. I didn't think much of it. I briefly thought about that woman again, wondering if she was still out there. Maybe I should have taken the longer route back home. which would have avoided that road entirely. But I was tired. It was late, and there were probably drunk drivers on the main highways. So, I decided to take the same road back. Big mistake. Just a few minutes in, something felt wrong. I could hear a strange dragging sound. Then the car began to wobble. Before I could pull over, it came to a full stop, like it had been planted into the ground. I stepped out of the car and was immediately hit by the bitter cold. The car's interior lights shut off as I closed the door, plunging me into pitch black. I turned on my phone flashlight and walked around the car. My stomach dropped. All 4 tires were shredded, not just flat, but ripped to pieces. It looked like something had clawed through them. No debris, no blowouts, just straight up sabotage. That's when the forest around me went dead silent. No wind, no rustling, not even crickets. I'd never heard a silence so deep. Then, snap, a twig cracked somewhere in the woods. I froze. That wasn't a branch falling. Something was walking. Then, I heard it. A soft voice, almost like a whisper. "I see you." It was a woman's voice. Calm, almost soothing. But it cut through me like a knife. I stood there, phone shaking in my hand, frozen in terror. And then the voice came again. "Can you see me?" That's when I flicked my light in the direction of the voice. And there she was, the same woman from earlier, standing at the edge of the trees. Except now, I could see her fully. Her gown was stained and filthy, and her skin was ghost pale. She was thin, unnaturally thin, with tangled grey hair falling down her back. But it was her face that really messed me up. She looked wrong. Her mouth seemed distorted, like her jaw was unhinged or partly missing. But she was smiling, or at least trying to. I didn't wait. I turned and ran down the road, sprinting like my life depended on it. I didn't even think to get back in the car. I just ran, hoping I could reach the neighborhood again. I could hear her behind me, twigs snapping, leaves crunching. She was chasing me. Somehow, I made it back to Caleb's house and started pounding on the door. His mom opened it, startled, and I practically fell into the foyer. I was pale, out of breath, and probably looked insane. But I told them everything. Caleb's dad called the cops, and they told me to stay the night. I didn't argue. I tried to sleep in the guest room, but I couldn't. I kept playing it over in my head. What she said, what she looked like, how close she must have gotten to my car. Around 3:14 a.m., I heard a tap on the window. Just one. I looked toward it, but didn't move. Then came the voice again. "I see you." Same exact words. Same soft, terrifying tone. She had followed me here. I stayed frozen in that bed until sunrise. When Caleb's family got up, I told them what happened. We all went out to the front yard. And that's when Caleb's dad found something near the side bushes. A long, rusted kitchen knife. The cops later searched the shack down the road, but found nothing. Except for a few dead, gutted raccoons nearby. No signs of anyone living there. They never found her. But I know what I saw. And next New Year's, I'm definitely taking the long way around.